Demaya. I'm Demaya. I am a singer, songwriter, actor, amateur producer, and general arts enthusiast, originally from Las Vegas, now living in Buffalo. And yeah, I am so excited for 2021. I don't know about you all, but I think pretty much anything has to be better than 2020, right? So for me, I have a lot of upcoming projects, including a collaborative work with fellow members of the Western New York Music Industry Alliance, and a lot of personal projects like releasing 25 songs before I turn 25 in August. Fingers crossed, it actually happens. Today I'm going to be going over my creative process a little bit. Last year was the first time I ever released a song, and yeah, I wrote the music for it, I sang on the track, and I made the cover art. So I'm going to go over how I made the track and how I made the cover art. Let's do this! Alrighty, here we go. I had to find a comfier spot so I could talk about my process a little bit. For Clownin, this was the first time I ever wrote a song in this way. So I found a loop, which is just, a sound that repeats over and over. And then I really liked it, and so I wrote the words around it. And then after I wrote the words, I made the rest of the track, and then it was done. Usually I start with like a melody, if I have like a melody in my head. Sometimes I'll wake up with a melody, or there'll be something in my dream and I'll oh, I want to turn this into a song. Or a lot of the times what happens is I have one line that I want to really use, or if I'm feeling, particularly one way or another, then I write a song about it. I've always used songwriting as a way to sort of process my emotions and to get through things instead of, letting them boil over in my head. But yeah, every song that I write has its own little process, and I think if you're a songwriter, your process is valid no matter what. There are so many different ways to come up with a song. Step 1, open up the DAW, or digital audio workstation. I use GarageBand. I started off with a bass loop and built the song from there. My process for this song was very imprecise. I just clicked on sounds until I found one that I liked. And eventually I wrote lyrics to it, and I sang into my little voice recorder the little sound sketches that I had once I found the bass loop. And I'm going to show you in the next clip what it sounded like in the beginning. Go to the voice memos, scroll, and here we go.
Tell me that you're lonely. Maybe you only hold me when she's not looking. Maybe I'm overthinking, sinking into my psyche. You only come around when you're feeling down.
Once the words were written and the melody was recorded, I went back into GarageBand and I found other loops that I liked to pair with the bass part. So some drums, some little synthy sounds, and yeah, everything just kind of came together. I really wanted something just chill and kind of basic, especially for the first song that I was ever going to release. I didn't want to go too, do too much and then have it sound like a jumbled mess. So this is just me showing you some of the sounds. This sound is actually one of my favorites in the whole song. It's just so ooh, little wobbly sound. And then this little synthy thing that separates the chorus from the second verse. And yeah, this is what it all sounds like together. Once I've solidified what I want the track to sound like, it's time to export the files. So I press the little headphone icon, which means that's the only sound that's going to appear. I change the name of the song every time I upload a new stem, so each individual track. So this is Clownin, bass, so I know this is the bass line, and then I share the song. And when you share files, you share them as WAV files. I don't know the tech behind that yet. I'll learn eventually. I upload it to Google Drive, and I do that with every single track in the song. And then here, I am going into Google Drive to show you the folder. And this was the folder that I used when I sent it to the sound engineer who helped me mix and master the song. I like to listen to the individual files before I send them over, just to make sure they're correct. Once I shared the stems, the audio engineer that I worked with was able to pull them up on his computer. Then I recorded the vocals. He mixed and mastered everything. It was so much fun. And yeah, I don't know how to mix and master yet, but it's something that is definitely on my to-do list for this year. And it's basically learning how to make sure all the levels sound good and everything sounds, good together. And then I released the song through DistroKid, which is a distribution website. And yeah, it was released October 23rd. Let's talk about cover art. I wanted a really crystal clear foundation for the photo, so I used my camera instead of using my iPad or my phone. And as you can see, I took a lot of pictures. I wasn't really sure what I was going for, but yeah, I took a bunch, and then I eventually settled on this one, even though there were a bunch more after that. This was the foundation for the cover art. Since I took the pictures in my bathroom where I have yellow Edison bulbs, the pictures turned out very, I guess you could say they had a golden hue, so I had to fix that at first, and then I smoothed some things out, and yeah, I went right into turning myself gray. I don't know why, I just have this fascination with the pop of color and then the gray. It's a fun combination. And then I'm going over the wig and turning it red with the paint tool. I wanted to buy a red wig, but I couldn't find any that I liked, so I just used the corally wig that I had. Now I'm adding details, and I kind of feel like a fake. The little triangle wasn't actually makeup, it was just drawn on. Next, it's time to remove the background with the background tool. I'm using Facetune too, by the way, in case you're wondering what program this is. I fill in any little details that I may have missed or that don't show up, and then I pick the photo option to use the background. For the actual cover itself, I purchased this background. I think it was $12 off of the site, but I couldn't find the download link. So it still has the watermark on for this tutorial. And then I added a filter and I added some text over it for the real picture. I'm not going to lie, I don't remember the exact colors or techniques or filters that I used when I made the actual cover art, since this video was made, retroactively. I made the original months ago. But this is more of an approximation to see just the process and how everything comes together. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. I'm going to include the actual cover art and a snippet of my song so you can see how everything turned out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week. Bye!
Tell me that you're lonely, baby. You only hold me when she's not looking. Baby, I'm overthinking, sinking into my psyche.